419 with Gretchen DeBacker, Matt Killam, and Kevin Mullen.
Welcome into the 419, powered by WGTE. I'm Kevin Mullen.
Gretchen DeBacker.
Matt Killam.
It is Mayor Monday, y'all.
Excited.
Yep.
Where's the y'all coming from? Are we going south?
We're going to Northwood.
Okay, got
and
it.
I feel like the y'all.
I also think you could probably guess where it is.
What?
It's not south, right?
It's Northwood.
East-ish.
It's actually east.
Yeah.
Which is just very,
Northeast.
very fitting
I don't
of
know.
Northwest Ohio.
I don't know
that
directions.
we don't really understand the compass.
100%. Yeah,
at
no,
all.
and we're not going to learn.
No,
That's right.
It's a mess.
That's our pledge to this show.
I heard years ago, and this was fascinating to me, that if you take the compass and tilt it
What's a compass?
to follow, like
Yeah.
north, south, east, west, Gretchen, and tilt it to follow the river,
Yeah.
that's North Toledo, West Toledo, South Toledo. Like it's all turned, right?
Woof. I know we got 4 minutes to fill in the
But
opening,
but that's
that is
you've
not the way to fill it.
It's not fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
You
Sure
described it as
Really?
fascinating.
Yeah, well,
But
the compass, even
everybody's-
saying the word compass was
Okay, all right, I got you. We are going to be heading to Northwood, Ohio today,
No
talking
taken.
to Mayor Ed Schimmel.
Yes.
And then we'll also have Bob Klumm with Klumm Brothers Excavating, a local business owner,
Yeah.
entrepreneur,
Yeah, big
family business.
Yes.
Big business taking down really big buildings.
Do you think he'd let us drive an excavator?
I do.
Well, hang on. So I saw Matt behind the wheel of not an excavator, but I think you could have done
then
just
when it
as
was
much
necessary.
damage.
Yeah. I thank you, Kevin, and Tarda. There was a promo to some degree for hiring for our beloved transportation agency.
Tarda.
Where some people, yeah, thank you, Gretchen. I don't know what we do with that.
And the message was, if Matt can do it, anybody can do it?
That's right. Yeah.
I wanna see that billboard.
Yeah, here's the deal. I did, you're supposed to think of the cones as children, right? So one of the children suffered. We suffered a lot.
Horrible.
We suffered a lot.
Horrible
But if you were to
loss.
line up all the cones, right, the cone that is no longer with us was the worst cone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to me about
Yeah.
the route, right? So was
Well, I
it
set my compass down.
okay?
Right.
And then
And
you
it was
turned
tilted.
it.
I don't remember the dumb thing you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tilted the compass, but no one would do
I
it.
hate you so much.
So yeah, get in line. I was. We were brought on and asked to do so. These are EV buses. So just another notch on a real leadership win for the people at Tarda. But we got.
Was it easy to drive?
It was not easy to drive.
Okay.
Did you have to did they make you parallel park
We
it?
were on
Or?
the obstacle. Oh, good Lord, no. We were on the obstacle course. It might surprise you, Kevin, but people almost never have to parallel park buses. For every conceivable reason. But that being said, it wasn't like a maneuverability test.
yeah,
But we did a
that's-
3-point turn, as you used to commonly see buses do. So there's a training course that they actually made simpler for us, and it was still pretty difficult.
Yeah.
The usage of the mirrors, this is going to surprise you. Those buses are long.
Yeah.
So the fact that I hit one cone was a miracle.
Win-win.
I was with
Except for the
head.
cone.
There were only 3 cones on the entire.
Yeah.
No, I brought my own cone. I set it right in front of it. So anyway, the great people at Tarda, their training and safety lead was incredibly patient, but it gave you a real.
Just an idea.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll post the pictures on our social media pages of Matt behind the wheel.
I mean, impressive. You took the chance to do it. I was bummed I was not able to be there. My kids had a field trip to Fifth Third Field for the Mud Hens game, which was a blast.
And you drove them in there in the bus.
And I did not run over any kids in the process.
Okay.
So
Kind of a one-upper.
But I did parallel park.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, I didn't.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't. All right, when we come back, we will kick off Mayor Monday
Excited.
with the mayor of Northwood,
too.
Ohio, Mayor Ed Schimmel. We'll be right back on the 419.
Support for the 419 comes from Witro Wealth Management, where we understand that your financial path is personal. Advisory services are offered through Capital Investment Advisory Services, LLC. Securities offered through Capital Investment Group, Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. More information at witroadvisors.com.
The 419, powered by WGTE, is made possible in part by supporters like you. Thank you.
Take WGTE with you, wherever, whenever, with the newly redesigned WGTE app. Watch our locally produced TV programming and your favorite PBS shows. Listen to FM 91 Live, stream our podcasts, and stay in touch with NPR News. Plus, get access to PBS Kids, great entertainment when you're on the go. All on demand in the palm of your hand. Download the WGTE app on the Apple App Store or Google Play today.
Welcome back into the 419. It's a Mayor Monday edition, and we're taking a trip to Northwood, Ohio, where we're joined now by the mayor of Northwood, Ed Schimmel. Ed, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
You have been the mayor for a minute and been in public service for a little bit. Why don't you just kind of catch us up on what your political career has looked like, and then we'll talk about Northwood and kind of why you did this to yourself.
Sure, yeah. I was on city council for 2 terms, so for 8 years, and then I decided to take a chance running for mayor, and I've been doing this for my 11th year.
You're an attorney by trade?
That's right. Yeah.
So that is difficult work in itself. Why bring on a second full-time job, other than I'm sure that you wanted to have more praise and thanks as city council people are inundated with.
Oh, sure.
But why plug into this community in that capacity?
So there's an interesting story there.
We'll decide if it's interesting.
Okay, well, yeah, that's true. Opened my law office when I moved back here from Southern Ohio on Woodville Road, right by where the old Woodville Mall was. And then I partnered up with some guys out in Sylvania Township. So we had 2 offices, Sylvania Township and Northwood. And Northwood had a red light camera on the corner of our busiest intersection right by my office. And you wouldn't believe how many people would call and say, well, I want to come meet with you guys, but you guys got that red light camera at your Northwood. Can you meet me in the Sylvania Township office?
Yeah.
And that's when I decided to run for mayor.
That's
for city
crazy.
council, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
for
What a
city
great
council.
story. Yeah.
You're born and raised in Northwood. So talk to me about childhood, kind of what that looked like. Little Eddie Schimmel running around the neighborhood causing
Blowing
trouble.
through red lights.
Yeah, blowing through red lights.
probably.
Yeah.
I grew up on our family farm, which is kind of in the outskirts of Northwood. So Northwood's mainly houses, but in the middle we have some open industrial area. And on the far eastern side, it's all farm ground. So that's where I grew up.
What were you farming?
Soybeans, corn, wheat, alfalfa, kind of those staple crops in this area. And I lived a few miles from the Woodville Mall. So growing up, it was always begging the parents to take us down to the Woodville Mall to go to the arcade and the movie theater and, get your soft pretzel and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that was kind of childhood. That was Northwood's downtown, was the Woodville Mall.
Sure.
What you talked about family?
Family, my parents, my mom grew up in Toledo, my dad grew up in Northwood. I think I'm like the 5th generation in Northwood, or Ross Township, what it was before. And I'm married to my wife, Carolyn, who's also a Northwood grad. I have 2 boys who graduated from St. John's, so twins.
Okay.
And they're attending the University of Miami. And my daughter's a freshman at Northwood.
Okay.
You have 1 daughter, 2?
Just one
One
daughter.
daughter.
Yep, 2 boys, 1 daughter.
Your folks, I was going to say, your folks, it's certainly possible that you blazed your own trail and bucked the Schimmel tradition, but usually we find people that demand of themselves giving back in public service to be standing on the shoulders of their folks. Your parents, one from Toledo, one from Northwood, were civic oriented. They wanted to make sure you plugged in. What drove you to giving back, other than wanting to support the people that have been unjustly accused of running red lights?
Well, I went to the University of Toledo. I got a degree in political science, so it's just something that's always interested me, whether it's mainly running small government.
Sure.
So I was always interested in that. I did not get a focus in public administration, but I really thought about it. So I've always had that interest there. My mother was a school teacher, 3rd grade at Washington local schools.
Sure.
And my father, he's still a farmer.
Yeah.
So he farmed all those years and then just ran different businesses. So I kind of got plugged into the entrepreneurship of things
Absolutely.
through him.
Yeah.
Was there any belief or period of time where you thought you would take over the farm and work that career?
Well, that's kind of my 3rd job. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It
still
usually
help
is.
run it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of in my blood, I guess.
Yes.
And how helpful have your dad's tips been to do things better? And how frequently do you get notes or tips?
He's pretty supportive.
Yeah,
because things
cool.
have changed a lot in the agricultural industry. Technology has changed a lot. He still helps, but he mainly just, runs the machine, working up ground or things like that. He lets the technical stuff
Sure.
taught us younger guys.
So as we move through city council, some of the things that you worked with in there, give us sort of the upsides and some of the challenges of that relatively long term. Terms.
Yeah, a couple terms. So on city council, the first thing we really tackled was the red light cameras. We tackled the red light van. Northwood actually had a van that would go around in different areas and do speed. It was a speed van. So that was one of the big things we dealt with. And then after that, it was kind of the economic turmoil that everyone faced in the area.
Yeah.
And Northwood was like most other governments. We had to lay people off and we had to cut our budget, and that was not a fun time to be on city council.
Sure.
What years was this?
Well, wait, Kevin, you had a red light district van. Is that the same?
Very similar.
Okay,
Very similar. I
yeah.
actually bought the old Northwood.
Yeah, it was a windowless white van.
Right, that's
That's
right.
more felonies.
That's the
not
yeah, I
less
don't-
misdemeanors.
yeah,
The good
like
news,
that.
the
That
good
is
news
an important note.
half of the people on the show today are attorneys and might be able to help me
Yeah,
with whatever
I
trouble
don't
I may
think,
have
no
gotten
matter
into.
how, even with their wizardry, I don't
Yeah,
think they can
yeah,
help
no,
you.
probably
And they
not.
shouldn't.
Tell us a little bit about
appreciate that, Matt.
the city of Northwood government. Is it a strong mayor? How many council members? How many employees? That kind of stuff.
So I think total employees were maybe around 100 if you include the fire department. The city council has 7 members on that.
Who's your least favorite member of council? Please look into the middle camera. and
I'd
say-
better keep that a secret.
Okay, that's fine. We can skip right over that. Would you like to borrow Kevin's
But
van?
make it known that he has one. He's just not going to say.
That's right. You know who you are.
I slipped up on that.
Yeah. That's okay. No one listens to this show.
So 100 employees, and is the mayor a full-time position? Is there a city manager?
We have a city administrator. He runs the day-to-day operations. So he listens to me sometimes, but
Yeah.
you know, it's
Yeah.
about how things go.
How long has he been at the helm in that role?
So Kevin Loutland came to us from Wood County. He was down there for a long time. So he's been with the city, I think, about 2 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Fairly new.
Relatively new.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
How many residents live in Northwood?
About 5,200.
And can you give us just sort of the general geographic outlines of the city?
So the city is bordered by Ottawa County on the far east, and then north of the city you have Oregon, and then you have East Toledo, so it's kind of half and half there. On the western side you have Perrysburg Township. On the southern side you have some of Perrysburg Township and Lake Township. So we have lots of neighbors.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are some of the notable businesses that people would, because I think it's, Northwood is one of those places that, it's a small village, right? And so it's one of those you drive through and you may not realize that you've just driven through Northwood.
Right.
But what are some of the milestones or the major places people are like, oh, all right, I know where that is.
Well, first of all, I'm going to interrupt you because I'm pretty sure that I come to Northwood with real regularity. The Tractor Supply store is in Northwood, correct?
We do not have a Tractor Supply.
Nailed
There's a
it, man.
family farm and home that is just outside of the Northwood limits.
Okay, that's the one that I'm taken to almost every other weekend. But if it's not part of your district, then I
It's
now
not.
now
Nope,
loathe
just
it.
outside.
I've never cared for them. Keep going. Pardon me, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, I'd say the one of the big businesses that people maybe don't even know about because they're all kind of hidden back in our industrial parks would be Norplast, which is part of Magna. That sounds right.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
They were the largest employer in private employer in all of Wood County for probably 20 some years. They make automotive parts. So I think they're now surpassed by Amazon. But
Never heard of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who uses
yeah.
them? But they're certainly the largest employer, and then we have a lot of places back there that people just, I don't think residents even know
Sure.
they're back there. We have more employees that come into the city of Northwood during the workday than we have residents.
Interesting.
That's allowed Northwood to really keep our income tax rate at 1.5%. Full reciprocity. So
Right.
if you're paying taxes where you work somewhere else, you come back and live in Northwood, you don't pay Northwood a nickel. We don't have any levies. So there's no millage in Northwood on people's homes from the city's side. We don't have any trash fees. I mean, literally only, I think about 6% of Northwood residents pay any taxes to the city of Northwood.
How do you pay for everything then?
So all
I
those,
guess.
all those employees coming in
It
every day.
is. It really is.
They
It's
pay their
having so
income
many
tax.
employers.
Yeah.
So then is that then a priority then of mayor and city council, is then driving more businesses to come in to bring employees? Is
And
that
keeping them,
Yeah.
presumably.
Yeah, retention,
Yes, sir.
definitely.
Absolutely.
But
That's a tough gig.
it is.
Yeah.
That's almost as important as attracting new ones.
100%.
Sure. But that's been our big thing, is bringing more businesses into our industrial parks, because they are the real drivers of economic. That's what's allowed us to keep this low income tax rate and to give so much to our community without really charging the residents a whole lot.
We're talking with Ed Schimmel, the mayor of Northwood, Ohio. Mayor, when you got into office, and I guess we can talk about city council first, but then mayor, what was the first kind of moment that you were like, oh, I don't know if I know what I signed up for?
Probably kind of right off the bat when I realized, I had kind of an agenda set out that I wanted to accomplish in a short span, and things just take a lot longer than you anticipate, especially in local government.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, things don't move fast.
You think you know it, but then you're in it and you're like, oh, this is what not fast means.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. The Woodville Mall project was probably the most difficult thing I've had to deal with. The Woodville Mall was the first enclosed mall in all of Northwest Ohio. I mean, Northwood was the place to go for any retail back in the late 60s, early 70s. And that place was, like I had mentioned before, it was great. We all begged our parents to take us down there because there was so much to do, and it was Northwood's downtown. But as all the enclosed malls kind of went bye-bye, the city was left with this structure, 900,000 square feet, and most of it was just plastered with asbestos. So you couldn't just tear it down. You had to have specialized people come in there. And what an awful job. These poor guys are in there spraying this asbestos stuff down with like scrapers. And then you have to bag it all, and then you have to double bag it. And the cost and the time it took was just wild.
So what has the redevelopment of that space been? What is it now?
The city created a TIF, a tax increment financing district, so the real estate taxes, the new places that are going in there are redirected to paying down the bonds. The city had to take out to put in new roads. So we put in, because the mall was our downtown, we had to put in, we thought, let's create a downtown. Let's put in a boulevard. We put in a rec center, so that was about a $9 million structure we put in. And then we found partners that are working with us to build new stuff there, to recreate and re-envision that site. So we have townhomes going in right now. They're working on phase 3. There's going to be about 140 townhomes. We have Wallach Senior Living. They are currently building a senior living, assisted living facility. That's going to be about 140 full-time residents and about 50 employees. Jeep Federal Credit Union bought a spot there. So we're starting, we've gotten some residents coming in. We're starting to get some
traction there. Yeah, good for you.
You brush past very quickly the TIF, and I think it's one of the most inventive
economic development tools.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit more about what the TIF does and how it benefits the cities that put them in place in these areas?
Sure. Yeah, it really gives you a tool to borrow money. When you go out and get bonds issued, they want to know how you're going to pay them, and it's hard to pay those just right out of the general funds. So setting up this TIF can give you an avenue to guarantee some funding coming in there and redirect money that would otherwise be going other places to help pay down the debt for the improvements on that site, just where your TIF is located, and pay those improvements. The other thing we've done on the northern part of the property is we've put in some CRAs. So things that are built there could have a tax exemption on your real estate taxes for anywhere between a few years up to 15 years. So another tool to kind of drive economic development.
The mechanism for retention, talk to me a little bit about that. What are the things, it is an interesting challenge you have, meaning the upside of everything you just said about living in Northwood also doesn't provide you the easy or low-hanging fruit, meaning we have a great school system, right? So that will keep employers there because they're interested in sending their employees' kids to school. You don't have that. So talk to me about the strategy and how Northwood has to have a slightly different path in terms of keeping businesses there. What does that look like?
So we have some employees that certainly help us on that side of things, talking with business owners, finding out what they need. Kevin, our administrator, goes out and talks to these places. We used to do quite a few visits. I haven't done as many the last couple years just because we've had...
Based on their request?
No.
That's a joke. just teasing. Yeah.
We basically just kind of had so much other stuff going on that kind of fell by the wayside for the last little bit. We're going to bring that back because, I mean, I just thought it was the coolest thing to go to these places.
Yes.
Norplast, for instance, I had mentioned. part of the reason they don't have as many employees is because they've automated so
That's right.
much. It's
Right.
just wild to go in there and see these massive robotic arms doing so much work.
That's how people describe my arms. That's one of the interesting conversations I always think, and this is really going to put you on the spot, but people talk about getting jobs back. Well, some of these jobs just don't exist.
Right.
Right. But please continue down that vein. It's always fascinating to me, indiscriminate of what the widget is, how it is made, or how it was made, how it is made now, and the intricacies of that. But again, that it's a great place to live, and we'll get to that in the second segment. But face-to-face time is an intrinsic value, of course. But how do you keep selling them? What is the makeup of infrastructure investment you just made, which certainly is a plus? But tell me some other elements of the fact, or how this is working for you.
So we definitely have good partners that we work with at Wood County, Northwest
Yes.
Water and Sewer. They help us with all the, getting water in and getting the bad stuff back out.
Yeah.
So having those partners all lined up, the Wood County Port Authority, they're a huge help. It's just having a lot of different team members that you work
well
with
said.
in conjunction
Yes, sir.
to get businesses there and to keep them there.
We're talking with Mayor Ed Schimmel from Northwood, Ohio, here on a Mayor Monday on the 419. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation, get a little bit more of a picture of what life is like,
Yeah.
what a typical day could or should look like in Northwood, Ohio. And then, of course, we're going to throw at him the 419 quiz, and we'll see how he does.
Okay.
All right. We'll take a break. We'll be right back on the 419.
To me, community means connecting to others.
I'm Donnie Miller, and welcome to The Point.
I love PBS Kids!
We're a community committed to education. Discover new ideas, dive into exciting subjects, and engage with the world around you.
I would send them personally a t-shirt. Crime doesn't pay in the Old West End, pass it on. That's how we cleaned up the neighborhood.
Vision loss for people is not the end.
It's a story, it's the next chapter.
WGTE Public Media invites you to Get Out and Play Day.
Monday through Friday, it's the 419 powered by WGTE. With Matt Klumm, Gretchen DeBacker, I'm Kevin Mullen. What can people expect on the show?
It's going to be an hour, a reminder of why this is a great place to live, work, and play.
WGTE, where you come to watch, listen, and learn.
Welcome back into the 419 powered by WGTE. It's a Mayor Monday edition, and we're spending the day in Northwood, Ohio with Mayor Ed Schimmel.
Yeah, there is Mayor Monday has become a sneaky favorite public offering. People talk to me, but they stop me and say, I've actually loved the Mayor Monday. So
And they also ask you to quit the show, don't they?
That's right. Yeah, it's mostly Gretchen's mother, who does a lot of drinking. It's always fun for us. I am also surprised how much I've enjoyed this. One of the things that is infectious is people talking about their towns, right? You could just live there. And sure, some mornings you're like, I would prefer to just live here. But your bride is from Northwood originally. You were high school classmates, or you were in the high school presumably.
We knew each other.
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't that close back in high school. Yeah.
So this is almost a Rockwellian, I think, conversation. And we get that with some frequency, as you can imagine, with either villages or cities. But talk to us about your hometown, that you've now made your hometown again. What's it like to live there through your words? Your kids live there. Tell me why this is important.
Well, it's one of those things when you grow up, you always think I want to move somewhere else.
That's right.
And do something else. And I did that. I lived in Toledo for a few years, going to college there and law school. And then I moved down to Southern Ohio when I became a lawyer, thinking,
where were you in Southern Ohio?
I was down in West Union. So it's
thriving
real
metropolis.
South. Yeah, way down
absolutely.
there.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. They got a subway there. It's awesome.
The sandwich
That's
shop.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, yep. A lot of artistry there.
Yeah.
Please keep going.
So lived down there a few years. I worked on some campaigns down there. The gentleman I worked with was an attorney, and he was running for state representative. So it was kind of like, I can learn more about politics down here. And I just thought, the place doesn't fit right. So I took the Florida bar, and I was going to move to Florida. And then I just decided I just missed home too much.
Yeah.
So I came back.
Yeah. Like, what am I going to do with all this sun?
Right.
Yeah.
How do you, if you're traveling, how do you describe Northwood to somebody who's not from Northwest Ohio?
So, I mean, Northwood is about, only a mile wide, but I think it's like 8 miles long. So you pass through Northwood quickly when you're on I-280 or 75, but Northwood is a kind of a rare area in our community that does have 75 and 280, two major highways that run through it. So that really helps us bring businesses to the city, having that connection to all these routes. And that's, I describe Northwood as it's really a community with a lot of homes and good people who know each other. I mean, really, you can go around and just, if I go to Meyer, I'm going to know 10 or 15 people.
How do you balance that, right? We have asked this with some regularity, as you'd probably expect, but you're grocery shopping or you're out to dinner. You can't be a shut-in, right? Although I'm sure that does sound appealing on occasion.
Sometimes, yeah.
So how do you be just Ed and not the mayor? Have you found a balance yet, or you're still seeking that? I mean, you've been in public service for a long time now.
It really doesn't bother me if people want to come up to me at a football game or at Meyer or something and talk about city issues. That's okay with me. And I enjoy talking about those issues, and hopefully if people have questions or things they don't agree with, I just try to convince them why the city's moving in the right direction. Sometimes it works, sometimes they just still don't agree with me, but that's life.
But you're available, right? And that says something. Yes,
I try to talk it out with everybody.
Yeah.
What kind of relationship do you have and do you work on with cities? You talked about all the border cities that you have, but also with the county. Because so much of what you do is regional. And affects what your neighbors do affect you. So what do you do to sort of communicate with those folks, the other cities, other elected leaders?
Yeah, partnership, what does it mean? What does it look like?
So we have some really good people in this area that help with those sorts of things. I think you had Tim Pedro on here at one point. He is in
charge of the bookshelves right now.
He's hiding here?
Yeah, that's right.
He's in charge of NOMA, the Northwest Ohio Mayors and Managers Association. So they have dinners, they have events where kind of the mayors and the city administrators get together and we hear about what's going on, what's working, what our community can try that others have tried. Another thing that we have that's a great asset to our area is Lake Erie West Regional Council of Governments, which was TMACOG. Sandy Spang over there does a great job putting together events, and at those events we literally have caucuses where you'll have a city caucus, a village caucus, and you'll sit there and just talk with everybody in Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan about what's working. So I think that's really been the driver, those kinds of organizations to get everybody together.
When you sit around the table with other, village mayors, what are you finding that you've all got pretty much the same challenges?
Some themes.
Same issues. Same issues in every community. Yeah.
Matt made reference to the fact that you don't have schools. Is there not a Northwood school?
No, there is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have a Northwood school system.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said something opposite of that.
No, I was just saying that one of the things about keeping employers, the school system continuing to support that is a nugget to keep. They don't have that, right? So Gretchen's not a strong listener. And
It was a bad question.
Yeah.
It's bad.
But walk us through, one of our favorite things is if you were taking somebody through the town, walk us through a day like that you can't miss spots or even events, or even if they were ephemeral, right, one that's gone by. Tell me about a walk through a day in your beloved town.
The first place I would definitely take somebody to is the new Northwood Rec Center.
Yeah, all right. Talk to me about that.
We wanted to make something that had something for everybody in the community, whether it was a 5-year-old kid coming there and having areas they could play at. We have the splash pad outside that we did a lot of work to that is really popular with the kids. And then we also wanted to have things for adults to use. So we have workout facilities, we have a gymnasium, we have a track, like a second floor track people can use. And then a lot of senior programs. So we really wanted it to be something for everyone in the community to meet at and to utilize
I
in
think
their
you
daily
should make
lives.
an adults-only splash pad.
That is a good idea. I like that.
Yeah, adults only splash pad. You're welcome to. Yeah.
I mean, now I feel like my windowless van just re-entered the
let's
conversation.
blow past that suggestion. This is a woman that just closed all your schools. Getting input and serving everybody is usually the recipe for disaster. But you've achieved it.
So after the rec center, what would you do?
Yeah.
I'd probably take them over to the schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had new schools built maybe about, I don't know how long it's been, 10 years maybe?
Yeah.
And it's a really wonderful facility.
The athletic facilities are really, really cool too, right?
Yep.
Yes.
They've done a great job over at the school district. My wife's on the school board, I got to say that.
That's what you do.
Yes, they are wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's talking about it. But those make a big difference, right? Are you at the home football games on Fridays?
I probably go to half of them.
Yeah,
or so.
sure. That's a lot. Yeah, for not having an athlete necessarily. That's a plug-in and fun.
I enjoy them.
Sure.
Where's a great place to eat in Northwood?
So there's a new place on Woodville Road called Senior Jalapenos. I've only been there once, but
Chinese food?
Yeah, right. I've only been there once, but a buddy of mine, they've only been open like 2 weeks. He's been there 5 times.
Oh my gosh.
Some people are really liking the place.
It sounds like
At
it.
least that guy is.
He's trying to earn the title.
Mr. Jalapeno.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Senior. Forgive me.
Senior.
That's right. We're talking with Ed Schimmel, the mayor of Northwood, Ohio. Digging through your bio, you also are you're an Eagle Scout.
Yep, sure am.
What was your project?
Building senior jalapeno.
I wish.
Yeah.
We put in drainage at a park in Northwood, Nature Trails Park. That was my project.
Yeah.
An interesting fact, both my boys are also Eagle Scouts.
Yep.
Cool.
So I helped them with their projects just a couple years ago.
My dad and nephews are all Eagle Scouts, and I think it's a telltale sign of a good man. Tell us a little bit about your law practice. Where is your law practice? What kind of law do you practice?
So we're in Oregon, so just next door to Northwood, and I do bankruptcy, probate, estate planning, do a little bit of real estate. A lot of us attorneys, we do kind of anything.
Sure.
If some client calls and got a traffic citation, I'm down there in municipal court dealing with that.
Matt's going to call you today.
Can you read your name? One more time. When you first were courting your wife, did you bring up this drainage project? Because I hear that is a real gold.
It's just, people love hearing about that.
Yeah.
What are some of the lessons that you learned as a scout that continue to kind of translate to your political, professional life?
Community service, helping everyone in the community with different things. I think that's a big thing Scouts really push. And my boys going to St. John's, hearing everything that St. John's talks about is kind of the same things that they learned as in scouting.
Yeah. We've talked to I know we're jumping around topics here. This is sort of rapid fire as we watch the clock wind down. But we've talked to a lot of the other mayors about housing, and including Mayor Kapsakevich and some of the other smaller city mayors about it being really their priority. Investing in the current housing stock, trying to buy other housing as you're bringing businesses into the community. Is housing a priority for Northwood, and what is being done on that?
It is, and a lot of the older areas of Northwood, we created CRA overlay districts into those, and we've had some residents actually take down a house or two and build a house there and have no taxes for quite some time. So I think that has helped a bit. At the Enclave, that's what we call the Old Woodville Mall area, we created the TIFs, as I had mentioned, and we went out and we found developers to come in there, because it just seems like, what comes first? Do you have a commercial downtown building going up, or do you have housing? And I think you need to have the housing first, so you have the traffic coming through there for anybody to want to build an office building or things of that nature.
What's your dream for Northwood? Before the end of your next term?
So what I'm really trying to get done is more work on the old Woodville Mall side.
Yeah.
If we could get Wallach Senior Living done, which it's going up right now, it's going vertical, with those 50 employees, those 140 or so residents, and all of their family members coming in and out, it's going to have so much traffic down our downtown road.
Yeah.
I want to see that build up.
That's great.
That is my vision for that area, and I think that's going to be good for the whole community, because we need that downtown. Northwood was founded in the early 60s, and they didn't have downtowns then. Just like Oregon's trying to do the same thing. They were founded about the same time as Northwood, and to not have your typical downtown in a city is kind of rough. So that's been our vision this whole time.
All right. This is an awkward transition into some real buffoonery. So thank you for your patience.
This isn't awkward at all. This is what our show is defined on, which might also be awkwardness. It's now time for
Gretchen's Wacky Quiz.
You guys are totally off today.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing the best we can, Gretchen.
All right, I'm going to ask 4 rapid-fire questions. Gretchen's going to ask you to describe Northwood in 1 word, and then you and Matt are going to list off the 9 best things in Northwood.
Okay.
Question number 1, what does your dream house look like?
Dream house? Probably a boat.
Okay.
Okay, I like that.
If you were stranded on a desert island, which 2 things would you want to take with you?
Oh, geez. A Monopoly board game and...
well, that would take up the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd never know you were stranded.
Right.
And maybe a water filtration system.
Okay.
Smart.
There's the Eagle Scout.
That's right. Yes.
That was good. If you could teach any subject in school, what would you teach?
History. Government.
All right. Final question. What's a phobia that you have? What's something you're afraid of?
Germs, I suppose.
All right.
Oof, you're going to want to drive immediately to urgent care.
Move over a
What's
little
the
bit.
1 word you would use to describe the city of Northwood?
Opportunity.
Love it.
Good.
All right, this is the most challenging part. We know what number 9 is. I won't let you blow that. But let's go through 8.
Okay.
Your favorite things about your beloved city?
I would say number 1 would be my family.
Yep. All right. So that's actually going to be 4 answers, right?
Yep.
You've got twins and a daughter. So now you're blazing through this.
I'm blazing through.
Yep. Keep going.
Yep. I think another big thing would be our people.
Your people. Love it. Yep.
My co-workers on city council.
Yes.
They are like the drivers of ideas in our community.
Except for the one. Your words.
Except for that one. Yeah.
Keep going.
The schools.
The schools.
Because they really do bring the community together. They're our identity.
100%.
Our parks.
Yep.
We have some fantastic parks in the city.
What's your favorite park?
Nature trails, probably.
Yeah.
That's kind of a more laid back, just trees and.
Yes. Yep. I have some expertise in that space, and it is a great.
Sure,
park.
I know you do.
Yeah. All right, brother. Close out strong here. What's your last favorite? What's your bride's name?
Carolyn.
Love it.
There you go.
There you go.
That's 9. Mayor Ed Schimmel. All right, Mayor. As part of Mayor Monday, we also the mayors help us bring on other great people doing good work in the community.
Yeah, no one was available, so you brought this guy.
After the break, we're going to talk with Bob Klumm with Klumm Brothers Excavating. Why did you want to bring Bob on the program?
Well, they do some good work in our entire Northwest Ohio,
Absolutely.
taking down structures. Northwood has had a lot of experience in having to take down structures, so I think he's got some good insight into those types of projects in our area.
Awesome. All right. Mayor, thank you so much for joining us
Thanks
here
a lot.
on a Mayor Monday on the 419. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Bob Klumm from Klumm Brothers Excavating here on the 419, powered by WGTE.
Support for the 419 comes from Witro Wealth Management, where we understand that your financial path is personal. Advisory services are offered through Capital Investment Advisory Services, LLC. Securities offered through Capital Investment Group, Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. More information at WitroAdvisors.com.
Destination Toledo. Whether you're a local or a visitor, Destination Toledo invites you to explore the region and be a tourist in Toledo. Find events, dining, and things to do at visittoledo.org.
WorkSpring. HR issues and employee well-being go hand in hand. WorkSpring supports employers through compliance, training, and wellness because healthy workplaces don't happen by accidents. Learn more at workspring.org.
Toledo Refining Company, a subsidiary of PDF Energy. Toledo Refining Company is a supplier of fuels that keep our region moving. Located in Oregon, Ohio, the refinery processes crude oil into gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and other petroleum products.
And Tarda, celebrating its 55th year of connecting Northwest Ohioans to their community. More information at tarda.com.
Welcome back into the 419, powered by WGTE. We're joined now by Bob Klumm with Klumm Brothers Excavating. And I know where this is going because one of my co-hosts,
Matt.
No, it is not Matt. I won't say which one it is, but it is not Matt. This is the type of person that didn't realize that when we had Brian Wixie on, that Wixie was an actual person's name.
Yeah.
And
No
so
one did.
Bob Klumm with Klumm Brothers, you do know that's where the name came from.
I do know that, and I want to know if there's really a brother.
There is a brother. My younger brother Ron and I started the business in 1989.
And so who is your parents' favorite?
It depends what day of the week it is.
Yeah, that is an absolute truth.
That is a fact.
Have
in
your
my
brother
family.
and you always got along? I mean, family businesses are tough.
Oh, when we first started out, we would be scrapping in people's front yards.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
And it was all a matter of evolving into defining whose role was what.
That's right.
In building business.
Coupled with a ton of stress. I mean, you're figuring out who you are as people and also figuring out what the business is.
Correct.
Right? And the market fluctuates a bit.
And our business has evolved over the years. We
Yes.
started off with 2 push mowers in the back of a pickup truck mowing lots in a mobile home park.
Yeah.
And just kept growing and growing.
Do you
and
wish that
growing.
you could go back to that sometimes?
No.
No. So let's back up a little bit and talk about the actual company and what it is and what you do now.
Currently, we employ about 120 people. We're broken into 4 divisions. At the excavating and demolition side, we also have a waste side, a heavy trucking side, and then the original landscape company that is kind of a catch-all for everything else.
Where did this kind of entrepreneurship bug come from for you guys to go, I mean, you say it started with a couple of push mowers, right? I mean, was that the first job that you were out cutting neighbors' lawns? And
Yeah, getting out of while in high school, I would mow neighbors' lawns.
Yeah.
And, I went to St. Francis, so my parents' expectation was we sent our kid to a college prep school. He's going to go to college, and after about 2 months there, I realized that
Same for me.
wasn't my path.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so it became a bit of a proving game.
Yeah.
To prove that we could do something without the higher education necessarily, and it used that as a tool to propel.
Yeah. An incentive. But your folks, though, they are salt of the earth people. They are, to describe them a little bit, because although you did blaze your own trail, I'm sure you stood a little bit on the
My parents were as middle class as middle gets.
Yeah.
Factory work.
Yeah.
And very traditional values.
Where'd you grow up in town?
In the Reynolds Corners area.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And is it just you and your brother?
Yes.
Okay. So why would someone call your company? What would someone need you to do that they would give you a call?
It's actually a broad base. So in the trash division, it's for not so much like in the city of Toledo, but when you get into the townships, it's individual subscription for weekly trash pickup or commercial trash pickup. But demolition is our mainstay.
Sure.
So it's anything from a residential structure to, we've tore down some of the bigger buildings in town, Riverside Hospital. We've done a lot of demolition at University of Toledo, BGSU. Every day we're wrecking something.
Talk to me about this process, because I'm...
Me too, but not by design.
Matt is also in the demolition business.
That's right.
Talk to me about, so taking down a structure, like what's that process, right? I mean, because obviously I've seen videos on YouTube of, this building imploding on itself, but doesn't happen by
Northwest
accident.
Ohio is not a great candidate for implosion.
Dynamite.
It's typically all mechanical, where you're reaching up with an excavator with a tool of one sort or another.
Do you think that is a good campaign slogan for the mayor, not designed for implosion?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll write it down just in case. Those yard signs,
Those are going to look great.
Please keep going, forgive me. Demolition, and I know this was teed up, in Northwood in particular, the work there that you've done, knocking stuff down is certainly to some degree fun, but you are also part then of the rebirth of things as well, right? It doesn't happen if the Klumm brothers don't do their job first. There's got to be pride in that.
There is.
Talk to me about that.
One of the things that we take a great deal of pride in is our level of recycle in the demolition industry. We have mobile concrete crushers, and so one of the things we like to do is when we tear down a building, we'll crush all the block, brick, foundations, footings, everything, reincorporate that material as the aggregate for the new building pad.
Oh, that's so good.
And what that does is it mitigates trucking all that material to a landfill, then importing new material. So it's enjoyable to watch an old building become the
literal foundation.
Right, the
That's so
subgrade
cool.
for a new building.
Yeah.
This business is so, it seems to me, much involved with really heavy equipment, very expensive machinery. How did you figure out how to finance all of these huge pieces of machinery, and I mean that's
a lot of lawns
big
to cut.
undertaking.
It was a lot of lawns, and we started out with some of the most horrific junk, worn-out equipment.
That's how I describe these two.
And
I'm just on my own out here, sir.
I mean, we would buy a worn-out bulldozer and start doing grading jobs and run it till it would run no longer, but that would give you enough seed money to springboard into a later Model 1 and eventually into newer equipment, which now we run the latest and greatest for a multitude of reasons. It's a lot easier to retain and attract employees if they're in something air-conditioned, climate control, and running flawlessly versus something rickety.
I mean, you are obviously on the top of the food chain, but talk to us a little bit about stuff that you still enjoy on the more granular day-to-day level. I mean, Gretchen just mentioned this. As a child, I was always fascinated by heavy equipment. Do you still like to look at?
I do. Unfortunately, I am the worst equipment operator within my company.
Sure.
Simply because I don't get the day-to-day opportunity to run it. I can pretend. But
it's just cool to have.
Yeah, and I mean, I've got a very talented crew, and there's no point in me trying to
you untalenting it. Right? But what are the things that you still occasionally? I mean, it's a lonely spot on top, right? The advantages are obvious, but the disadvantages are not intuitive to most.
No, I get stuck in the office more than I like to.
I bet.
I do enjoy spending time out on the job sites and mingling with customers. I mean, that's one of the most enjoyable parts of owning a business is the time you get to spend with customers.
You can't say that you work in Northwood, so we'll let you off the hook a little bit there, but talk to me a little bit about some of the favorite things of yours. I know there's probably a laundry list you've been at since 89, 90.
89,
So tell me about some of the things that you've been the most proud of or most excited about. You can't say the Northwood one.
No.
So we'll give you that get out of jail free card.
There's been some very memorable projects that we really liked. The old Riverside Hospital. It was a big, robustly built building.
Yeah, I'm down there now every day.
It was challenging to get down, and we liked that challenge. We did the parking garages at the University of Toledo. That was
a lot of cement.
Oh, yeah. BG, we tore down their administration building, and we were literally working on a postage stamp next to the honors dorm where they didn't want a lot of noise and commotion because you were coming into finals week.
We finally got back at those college snobs. Tell me, day one, when you're looking at a site or taking on a job, is there literally anything that is too big now for you, or anything that what does the fundamental start of a demolition project of this scale look like?
The first thing we assess is how do you safely get this down? The last thing you want is somebody getting hurt. And so when you get into a challenging situation where something, and it never fails, somebody wants a building that's this tall and there's a building this tall next to it, is how do you, and I equate a lot of the decisions I make like the Shell Pawn Stars. Okay, how are we going to do this? We're going to call in an expert. We'll work with other contractors who can assist us in protecting this building and safely getting this one down. And so that's what we look at first, is how do we mitigate collateral damage when tearing something down.
When you're driving around town, I mean, when you see a building, are you already thinking about man, if I had to take that down, this is what I'd do first?
I find myself sitting in auditoriums and stuff looking up saying, wow,
this would be
knock that, this.
I could have this down in 20 minutes.
Well, I have a question that's the opposite. Have you ever been asked to take something down that you didn't want to, that you thought should be saved?
It's a rare good question.
From a historical?
Or for any reason. Like, hey, this could be used as something.
Not really.
Hey, there's still people inside this building. We should take it.
Typically, there winds up being a lot of public sentiment if you're going to take down a cornerstone of the community. But buildings do hit a useful life. And you can throw good money after bad, and no matter what you do, it's not going to resurrect it.
That's right.
And a lot of it has to do with, a lot of the larger buildings we've taken down were WPA projects, Work Progress Administration.
Of course.
And two things must have been very cheap then, labor and concrete, because they were built like bomb shelters, but unfortunately they weren't built to accommodate air conditioning. internet,
Right.
and to, oddly enough, to retrofit these older buildings to modern standards costs more than to demolish and rebuild.
This may be the dumbest question you've ever heard in your entire
It
life.
will be.
When you are driving by and you see something coming down, why are they spraying water on it?
Dust suppression. So you don't want the...
I thought it was for something for fire related.
No, nothing to do with fire. It's to...
Fire for a building coming down.
It's to control the
Jesus
dust. From,
Going into the other areas.
I mean, yeah.
Why? That's not the dumbest question, is
No,
it? Okay, thanks, Bob.
Well, she's not done yet, Bob.
All right, so then,
We've got 5 strong minutes left.
then what would be the dumbest question? If that
I'll
wasn't,
see your dumb
I
question
wanna
and
know
I'm
what was.
going to up it.
You talked about, from a technological perspective, some of the advances, but really focused on more comfort. Right? You talked about some of the vehicles having air conditioning and some of those things. But talk to me about the role that technology has played in your business in the time that you've been in it. And I'm curious if you guys do anything with AI. Is there?
Not much with AI, but we're incorporating a lot of technology currently with using drones, actually.
Oh, interesting.
If you call and say, hey, I have this monster stockpile of soil I need removed from the site, you call 3 contractors, one's going to tell you you've got 40,000 yards, one's going to tell you you got 50, one's going to tell you you got 80. And so what we like to do is we go out and we say, we're going to put this drone in here, quick topo of it, and we can tell you within the cubic feet how many yards of dirt there are, and this is the cost to remove it. And it builds a lot of confidence with the customer that, okay, now I know accurately what I have here and what it's going to take to get
Is
rid of it.
everything in your home and car in a specific place? Are you an absolute neat freak? Do all the corners have to go?
My desk looks, there's stuff piled
okay.
everywhere.
Like
Is
it's
that
been
about bringing a wrecker in?
Yeah.
And-
Just holds it down with water. in
And our
case there's a fire,
controller, who
that's
has a
good.
desk next to me, his is,
Yeah.
Neat.
And they still have the desk next to you.
yeah. Well, we sit about 10 foot apart, but if you look at my desk and look at his, it's,
He probably doesn't do any real work. So
no, he does the heavy lifting in the
what
office.
is the,
Yeah, sure.
why was it important, going back to what you said before, why was it important for you to invest in the time and money in repurposing some of that cement that you were taking down? Is it purely cost savings? Do you have environmental concerns?
It's both. It's we can provide tremendous cost saving value, and secondly, there's no point in filling landfills with a reusable product. We view broken up concrete, broken up asphalt block. We view that more as a raw material than a waste.
Do you have the ability to sell that to other people?
Oh, we sell it.
Who else uses it?
Like all of the asphalt, we grind, and it's super popular for rural driveways where you're in the country, you put down a stone driveway, and every time the wind blows, there's dust, where the asphalt tends to bond back together. It tackifies.
That's so interesting.
And so
You must have learned so much. I mean,
all the hard way.
Yeah, sure. Well, learning is learning,
Mistakes,
man. You don't have to. As long as you learn, who cares how you got there? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Talk about. Building a business is one thing, right? Building a community, building a home is another. What outside of work, right? Outside of excavation, what are some of the community projects that Klumm Brothers have been involved in, or that you and your brother just personally are involved in that care about?
I wind up getting involved in some local politics. I'm currently a trustee in Springfield Township. I've served as a trustee in Spencer Township. I'm on a community improvement corporation. I do like getting involved in the small level government, just to add a construction perspective.
Sure.
A lot of times you have people with very strong administrative backgrounds, but maybe not the nuts and bolts of what we're putting together.
That is it. I don't want to blow by that. Having an idea of how things work and the actual cost of things is not just helpful for the taxpayer and the people who you volunteer your time for, but other administrators, right? Everyone can play an important role, but the idea of cost, and you live this every day. We are a part of a multitude of projects from the Metro Parks perspective, and at face value, if I wasn't involved in them, I would not believe how expensive they are.
Right.
And that's only been increasing in the last 5 years. So having that knowledge and having, not a true sayer, these other things are not untruths or lies certainly, but providing context and a practical approach to that is saving people real money. So you must be very proud of that.
And so, I mean, I'm able to, through trial and error over decades, if I look at a project, I say, here's a potential pitfall where this could get expensive if what's
Right.
behind door number 2 is not what we're assuming it is.
Right.
And that's what happens a lot of times in municipal projects, at a hidden cost, and they've got a projected budget, and
Because it's not being assessed properly.
Right.
Yeah.
and when you find an unforeseen
Yeah.
anything, it can be a curveball.
Yes, sir.
What's something you like to do for fun when you're not working? What's some favorite restaurant, some place you like to do in your leisure time?
I'm an auction junkie.
Okay.
I go to heavy equipment auctions.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Right.
I thought you looked familiar.
No, for some reason, that is what I find enjoyable.
Yeah.
But I enjoy spending time with my daughters. I have 2 daughters that both work in the business.
Cool. How old are they?
27 and 29.
Are they going to take over, do you think?
Potentially.
Yes.
Yeah. No pressure.
We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
see.
yeah.
You got to do a rebrand.
Right. Yeah.
It's got to become the Klumm sisters.
Well, we've already got some of the branding. It seems like it's leaning into the feminine. I love it. All right.
Awesome. Bob Klumm with Klumm
Thank you
Brothers
so much for being
Excavating.
here. Nice to
Thank
meet
you
you.
so much for joining us. If people want more information on your business, where can they find it?
KlummBrothers.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Thank
guys. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap up this Mayor Monday edition of the 419.
You laughed with us. You learned with us.
Hi, neighbor.
We made sure your childhood was special. Memories that could only be provided by PBS. For generations, we've given you programs that made a difference. Programs that entertained, informed, and inspired. And today is no different. This is WGTE Public Media in Toledo. It's where you belong.
Welcome back into the 419, powered by WGTE, as we wrap up a Mayor Monday edition of the 419. I know we say it every time, but it's like this is just such an enjoyable way to meet and visit other communities across Northwest Ohio and to see them through the eyes of the mayor, who is inevitably one of the greatest cheerleaders that every community will have.
Yes. Yep. I cannot believe the Tractor Supply store is not in Northwood.
Yeah,
so we all did a lot of learning today. That's all we can do.
That's all we can do.
The boundary, I mean, but this is one of the questions that Gretchen asks. There's a few of them that are consistent with Mayor Monday, but like, what's the geographic boundaries of your community? And I did not realize, and I've been to Northwood, right? I mean, I worked out at Stritch. I was on the Eastern Maumee Bay Chamber of Commerce board, which covers Northwood. I didn't realize it's only a mile wide and 8 miles long, right? I mean, that is a weird shape.
It's an unusual community, and I haven't mean that in the positive. And the upsides and downsides we kind of walked through with the mayor. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously I think, my interactions mostly are in like the business park, right? That there's, HOT Printing is out there in Northwood.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right.
All of the alcohol distributors, not all of them, but like NWO and True House are all out there in Northwood. Buckeye Broadband.
Why are you at the alcohol distributors so much?
Protesting.
Well, I used to own a fire truck that serves beer, Gretchen.
True. That's true.
I'll do it.
And then Bob Klumm, he's a gem.
Yeah. It's, again, we've got so many great businesses in Northwest Ohio. We've had the folks from UT Family Business Center on talking about the challenges of a family business. And I can't imagine working full-time. I love my brothers, but I cannot imagine working full-time with any of them.
I loved the fact that what do you do in your free time? He reluctantly said, well, I like to go to auctions for big equipment. Like, yeah, of course you do, man. That's exactly what I want you to say.
You wanted to do that since you were 7.
You love you, man. It's great. I love
totally.
it. If you missed any part of the show, you can catch it 7 a.m. on YouTube, 3 p.m. on FM 91, or 6 p.m. on WGTE Connect channel 30.4. Thanks to our guests for joining us. Thanks to you as well. It's the 419, powered by WGTE, presented by Wheatro Wealth Management.
The 419, powered by WGTE, is made possible in part by supporters like you. Thank you.